Hello, everyone, and welcome to EDU 520, Issues and Trends in Educational Technology. My name is JC Lenk, and today I would call it the issue/trend in our classrooms today are whether or not we should allow the use of cellular phones in them. So I really don't have a solid stance either way for this, but I'm going to give you the information I found and my thoughts about it, and I'll let you formulate your own opinion. So getting started, we can see some stats here that they are not going anywhere anytime soon. Most students today have cell phones. I would say, geez, even sixth grade and above, you can definitely find the majority of them have them. A few interesting things I found on this piece of data that 24% of schools ban cell phones, and at these banned schools, 65% of the teens say they carry their phones with them every day. So, either way, I don't know how we get around this issue. It may be like a forced, or we may be forced to embrace it, but they're definitely going to bring them to school, whether they put them in their lockers or their bags or put them in their pocket. They are here to stay. So what we choose to do with them, is probably just going to be personal preference. But the issue that I see with this are the texting and the communication during class, because they're not concentrating. If 58% say that have banned phones, they've sent text messages even if they were banned, and 64% have texted in class, 43% at least once a day. So, but I mean, that's not surprising, even with the smartwatches coming out now. It's definitely, hopefully it becomes a trend and not an issue, but I guess that will be up to the students and how they choose to use these. Okay, so let's get started with the good news first. Positive ways that we can bring the cell phones into our classroom, and I guess that depending if you're a one-to-one school, is kind of my stance. I would, I guess, be more lenient of using cell phones if that were not the case. But if you are a one-to-one school, I would be a little bit more cautious with that. But so let's say you're not a one-to-one school, internet access would be readily available for the students to do some research or different class activities that you can use. Primarily anything, if you're doing an online quiz or anything online, they can access with their phone. So that could be beneficial to the classrooms that are not one-to-one. Using the camera, I guess instead of maybe writing an assignment down in their assignment notebook, or if they have a notebook that they take home, chances are very, very good that they're not going to forget their cell phone. So many times you hear, oh, I forgot my assignment book, I didn't know what I wrote down. So they just don't do their work that they need to. But I would pretty much guarantee that they're not going to leave their phone in their locker like they do their books or whatever else they need. Another thing that is very beneficial are some classroom apps. I'm sure every subject has certain apps for them. You could use some VR imagery for social studies. If you have, you could bring it up on your phone and put it into the VR goggles. Language, I know, is pretty popular. Students can use that to translate things or speak into it and have that conversation in a different language. Adding another dimension to a project or an assignment is also pretty important. Once in a while, I do a lot of projects in my social studies class for sixth grade. If a student has an idea that they want to use their phone with, if they run it by me, I don't have any issue with that. Some of them use like the stop motion animation or like slow-mo video to do things. I'm perfectly fine with that. It is easier like making or shooting a video than using a Chromebook or something like that to do. So that's fine by me. Another pro that we have are some apps are actually easier to use than websites, in my opinion. I have the WeVideo app, as some of you may be using WeVideo to record your presentation here, but I personally feel that the WeVideo app is much easier than using the WeVideo site. You could just take some pictures on your phone, you upload them, and I do some in my classroom where I can make a video in less than 3 minutes, and it's pretty quick, it's pretty easy. So that may benefit some students if they're more comfortable using that. Sure, go ahead, right? Some students, they could get like a donated phone, or maybe a class set could be a donated phone. Maybe the calling features would be turned off, but kind of like an iPad where you can't call, but you can use all the apps that are available there as long as you have the Wi-Fi. But the responsibility thing, I think, would be a big part of it. I would guess that, the first couple of weeks of students being allowed to use their phone, they may get off task and doing that, but hopefully there would kind of be like a grace period where, they became a little bit more responsible. They're like, okay, I guess just the luxury would wear off, kind of like a new car. You're super excited at first, and then after a couple of months, it's just a car. So, the last one I put down here, I didn't know which slide to put it on, but we'll just say for the best part that it'd be easy for a parent to reach their child if need be. Students are becoming more and more active after school. Maybe parents say, hey, is your game canceled? Or, do you have this club after school today or whatever? Now, on the other hand, I would hope that parents would be responsible and not take advantage of that. I've had some instances where, like with the smartwatches, student says, oh, my mom, I'm returning a text to my mom. And that's always the number one excuse. Maybe she was, maybe she wasn't. But I was like, oh, yeah, what did mom want? Well, she asked what I wanted for dinner. So, well, it's 9 a.m. You probably have 9 or 10 hours before you have to do that. So could probably wait. I think parents, I would hope that they would not become a distraction and only use it if absolutely necessary. So those are just some of my thoughts of the pros I came up with from doing the research. So let's get to the bad stuff now, the cons that we have. Cell phones in classes are going to be a distraction. They are not going to use them just for educational purposes. I would bet they're going to be Snapchatting, Instagramming, texting, about everything they can do without doing the actual work. Cyberbullying, I think, would become very prominent. It would be much easier. I could see kids taking pictures of other kids and maybe Snapchatting them and maybe, adding stuff to them, or catch a goofy picture of me or a video, posting it on the web for the entire world to see. I could really see that happening, and I wouldn't want that to happen to me if I were the student, either getting the picture taken without permission or something like that. Students lose stuff all the time. If they lose their phone first period, second period, or someone takes it, or if they can't find it, their world is pretty much turned upside down. They will have a difficult time and not be able to function throughout the rest of the day. Another issue I see with this is all students may not have a cell phone available to them, whether it's age, whether it's economic status, whatever. I don't think you would get 100% in your class. So maybe you'd have to figure something out to do group work, but then someone else looking at their phone. There's a lot of things that could happen. And lastly, there are some apps out there. I know, for example, like Photo Math. All you have to do is take a picture of a math problem, and it will do it for you. It shows you step by step. It shows you the answer. That is not teaching the students anything. Yes, they will get the correct answer. They could get 100% on their homework, but they are not learning how to do anything with it. So I think that could be a dangerous tool and not really helping them. So last slide I have, my final thoughts. I don't know where you stand personally. My view is, are you a one-to-one school? If you are, I do not see the need for cell phone use. How old are you teaching? I would say high school, more being a little bit more lenient to say middle school or elementary, but to each his own.